Backstage Live, the online show dedicated completely to the Malaysian arts. Now, in our time, there have been many countless love stories, but none has been as prolific and as tragic as William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. Now, the Theatre for Young People ensemble, along with resident director in KL Pack Christopher Ling, have gone back to their roots and decided to close their season this year with a Shakespearean performance. The only thing is that there's a little twist to this. Instead of setting it in Verona itself, this performance of William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet is set in a school called SMK Damansara Verona. So, if that intrigues you, why don't you take your place at your tables, because, ladies and gentlemen, class is in session.
We unite as family.
In the eastern skies, let the sun arise, let the dawn rouse us to pride. Hand in hand, no strife till the end of time, and together we will climb. Oh, true Veronians, rise above and break from prejudice. Oh, true Veronians, pledge our hearts, we unite as family.
Romeo and Juliet is the greatest love story ever told. In fact, if you ask anyone what they know of Romeo and Juliet, they probably tell you that it's about these two young people who fall in love and ultimately they die. Somewhere on Facebook, actually, I read that in a nutshell, Romeo and Juliet actually is about a 17-year-old boy who falls in love with a 13-year-old girl. They have a 3-day relationship and 6 people die.
Romeo, well, is impulsive, love-struck most of the time. Actually starts out as a very heartbroken character, but once he finds Juliet, he just goes crazy over her. So he's just very melodramatic. Always he's trying to just, when he shows love, it's very big. It's not something small. He tries to climbs on a balcony, threatens to kill himself, gets into fights over love. So it's very impulsive in a sense, a very, very young, impulsive kind of guy.
I think Juliet is definitely very determined, and she is, she takes matters into her own hands, even though, the play deals a lot with destiny, and, she has her whole life set up for her, by her parents, but she denies that, and she takes matters into her own hands, and yeah.
T4IP does a Shakespeare play every year as part of their season, and we've actually, because last year was our 5th anniversary season, we took a bit of a break. So I thought that this year, when we come back to Shakespeare, we needed something that was a tiny bit more attractive to the audience in terms of drawing them back to the theatre to see a full-length Shakespeare piece. So hence the choice of Romeo and Juliet.
For the Shakespeare language hurdle, it was basically research. A lot of research, because what you read in Shakespeare, you cannot directly think it's what you think it is, so you have to go and look it up online, you have to do a lot of research. And as for the challenges, basically was, for the lines, just getting it down, just going through it over and over again until you can remember.
I'm still trying to overcome the Shakespeare barrier with the language, and trying to relate to Juliet, because she is such a big character and she's quite intimidating. So the rehearsal process has been quite difficult for me, but I'm enjoying it a lot.
Romeo and Juliet, because of the fact it's been done so many times, you throw a stone, you hit a production somewhere, anywhere across the world, at any point in time. Because of the nature of the piece, you need to find an interesting inroad to make the play accessible for your audience. So in this particular instance, I thought, why don't we approach Romeo and Juliet from the perspective of the Malaysian schools? Hence the setting of Romeo and Juliet as a play reading in the upper 6th classroom of a fictional school, SMK Damansara Verona. Basically what it is the class English lit teacher forces this class of 8 students to to do a play reading of Romeo and Juliet. And at first they don't take it seriously, they might not even see the point of the exercise, but as they are drawn in and attracted by the play itself and the characters and the things that drive these characters, what happens is the play takes over, and by the end of the play, all semblance of the play reading seems to have vanished.
People should come watch the show because it is extremely relatable, and since we localized it into a SMK Damansara Verona in a school setting, it's identifiable with other students. So yeah.
Romeo and Juliet was written so long ago. The issues that are actually in it are quite relevant to today. Like families don't agree to who their children should date. Like say Montague and Capulet can think of it as neighbors who disagree with one another and are not on speaking terms. Best friends, rivals, all sorts of issues that are in Romeo and Juliet actually can be still found in our today's society.
Romeo and Juliet as a play has a capacity to speak to many different people at all kinds of different ages. Whether you have loved, you've been loved before, you've never been in love, the play does have something to say to everybody. And the thing is, the thing that is said from the play is not something that is superficial. It will always cut very deep. And I believe that is what is most exciting about theatre, when you open up your heart and you allow a piece of theatre to really reach in and grab you and speak to you and hopefully, make you think about something by the time you leave the theatre.
So yes, if that is anything to go by, I highly suggest that you come and watch this performance. Now word is they've already sold out on Sunday and tickets are selling incredibly fast because why wouldn't it be? It's Romeo and Juliet! So, if you want to go and catch this play, look across your screen right now. Both the KL and Penang runs are there, so take a look. The dates, everything you need to know are right there. And if you want to secure your place, you better go and get your tickets as soon as possible. Now, last but not least, if you want to check out what else is happening in the art scene, look across your screen. Here are the websites that you should highly visit, which is Kaki Seni, We Are Malaysia Made, and Stage KL. And of course, if you have any inquiries or just want to give us a shout, look across your screen. The email is thebackstagelife@gmail.com. So that's another episode from me, Nick Dorian. Thank you so much again for supporting the Backstage Life, and I will see you guys on the next episode. Booyah!